Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Ask Katie Anything. I am your host, licensed marriage and family therapist, Katie Morton. I'm so glad that you're here. Today I am joined by a good friend of mine. I'm going to do her justice here, Karena Dawn. She is a mental health advocate, New York Times best-selling author, fucking amazing, and co-founder and CEO of Tone It Up, the women's fitness and wellness community loved around the world. She's also the founder of The Big Silence, which we'll talk about, a mental health foundation and podcast where she shares open, healing conversations about well-being and personal growth. Karena's work is inspired by her own story, growing up with parents living with schizophrenia. Through meditation, movement, and deep inner work, she found her path to healing and now uses her platforms to help others do the same. She's been featured in Forbes, spoken on major stages including TED Women, and serves on the board of advisors for NAMI. Today, she's dedicated to breaking mental health stigma, expanding resources, and empowering people to live more connected, confident, and fulfilled lives. Whew. Yeah. So I guess let's start back in the day then.
Yeah.
Tell us where you grew up and how you became a fitness...
Superstar?
Yes, goddess.
Oh, gosh. Growing up, I'm from Indiana, born in a very small town, Peru, Indiana. Doubt you've heard of it.
Only from you, but not regularly.
Just a regular childhood. I'm second generation Ukrainian. My grandmother was pregnant with my dad when they immigrated to Ellis Island in the U.S. So I'm grateful to be here and that my grandparents were able to come. And yeah, great childhood. From Peru, Indiana, moved to Indianapolis, Indiana, and I would say it was a picture perfect family in childhood until things started to change. So as you mentioned, I grew up with a schizophrenic mother. We didn't know until I was probably like 10 years old that things started to shift in the house. But going back to my love for fitness and how I even made a career out of fitness. My mom used to always work out to Jane Fonda VHS tapes.
Oh my God, I remember that. My mom did those too.
Did she too?
Yeah. Oh. And the straight legs, kicking, kicking.
Yeah.
And I would be like in the background pretending that I was doing it.
I would literally just sit and watch her and I'm like, that's so cool. And the step aerobics was really big back then, which I heard that's making a comeback.
I love it. I actually did that way back in the day when I first graduated from college, so this would be like 2006.
Yeah.
And I would go to Bally's and do the step aerobics with all the old ladies. It's my favorite.
Well, again, with Pilates and step aerobics, apparently come back.
Will we see that on Tone It Up?
Maybe. I mean, maybe.
I would, if you need someone to do it with you, that'd be really fun.
Okay. I like that.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
continue.
So, yeah.
Your mom's watching her VHSs.
Yeah, and she loved fitness. She also loved dieting, which we can deep dive into the 90s of fat-free and all that we grew up with. But yeah, so when I was around 10 years old, things started to shift in the house, and signs that my mother's mental health was not well. Started having delusions, seeing things, thinking my dad was part of the Antichrist. And, I call it my decade of darkness. My mom was in and out of the house for about 8 years, missing persons.
Like you guys didn't know. She just you'd wake up and she'd be gone kind of, or?
Yeah, I talk about it in my memoir. The first night that she really disappeared, we were going to watch a movie as a family. And she's like, I'm going to walk to the corner store and get some Coke, probably Diet Coke. And we had ordered pizza and then she never came home. And that was the first time she went missing. And then multiple times, there was 6 weeks at one point she was a missing persons. And she was diagnosed because she was in a mental hospital. They had found her in a ditch in Indiana in the middle of winter. And
scary.
Yeah. And they started giving her Haldol. Mm-hmm. And that's when she came to and she said, I have a family. They contacted my dad. We went to the mental institution and there was my mom hooked up to all these IVs. And the doctor was like, your mom has been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. And at that age, I still don't know how to spell it.
Yeah.
And so as a kid, I went to the library and rented a book on what schizophrenia was and educated myself on it.
What was that like? Because I'm always curious. Also, it's a different time.
Yeah.
Although I still, like my audience knows, I'm not a fan of hospitalizations, but they do need to exist to keep people safe.
Yeah.
Not very therapeutic, kind of terrifying. What was that experience going to the hospital, seeing your mom like that? Like hearing, that's a lot to process.
Yeah. And I hear you on your opinion on hospitalization, but she needed to be there too.
Yes.
Because she didn't have an identity. My experience, and it's so interesting because you can have vivid memories. It's like some things you don't remember as a kid, but then you have these vivid memories. And walking into a room that was through a locked door and people sitting around at tables, everybody's kind of dazed over, and then going into a private room where my mom was, and she was definitely dazed over and glazed and not very loving, not much emotion. But I don't ever think I really processed that moment. It probably was almost something you block out. Because as being, 10, 11 years old, how do you process that?
I don't know if you can in the moment.
Yeah.
Especially, I have to think back to that time. Because I've been doing a lot of thinking about like that we can't take our adult brain and judge a childhood us, right? Because we have all this knowledge now about it and we can like intellectualize and explain. But in the moment, you didn't know what really was wrong. They're telling you, but you don't know what that means. It's like you might as well have said, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, sure, okay.
Yeah.
It looks like she's in a hospital setting, hooked up to IV. You're like, is she sick? And I think, and also you probably knew something was wrong with your mom, but you didn't know what. And that like,
I don't even know. At that age, you're so young and whatever. My mom had all these delusions and she came to me with them. And basically at that age, I believed everything she said.
Well, she's your mom, of course.
Yeah. Oh, your dad's part of the Antichrist. He's going to brainwash you. I'm like, okay, I hate my dad. And so there's just so much confusion in there. And I'm sure in this, I mean, at what age do our brains fully develop?
25.
25 years old?
25.
Shut.
That explains a lot, right? For me, at least.
But yeah, I almost normalized chaos. It was, oh, mom's in the hospital. Okay. Mom's this. Okay. Dad's this bad person. Okay. All of my, I wasn't allowed to hang out with certain friends because their parents were also part of the Antichrist.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I don't even know. I've never really gone to sit with that little Karena at that time walking into the hospital room and really held her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, help her feel like it's okay. We're going to figure this out.
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong with you. Your mom will be okay.
Yeah, and then mom's coming home. We found mom.
Yeah.
Normalizing all the chaos again.
Yeah.
And then mom comes home and she's on medication. She was an artist and she didn't have any creativity when she was on medication. So she would go off medication, disappear again.
People don't talk about that enough. There's another person who's widely known who's talked about, I think it's bipolar disorder, Mark Jacobs. He says he can't create clothing and designs if he's not off medication. Even Kanye West has said he can't write, he can't record. If I mean, that's a whole nother bag of worms. But
let's talk about Kanye.
But in general, I think people don't talk enough about the blunted effect that medication can have. I believe it's getting better. I have hopes.
Yeah.
But back in the day, like Haldol is a heavy hand.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a lot of people feel like they can't emote. They'll be like blunted affect.
Do they still give Haldol to? Okay.
I wouldn't say it's as widely used. At least my time in the hospital, Haldol's still common. Some people think of it almost like lithium, like a gold standard. They'll use it to like wipe away psychosis.
Mama was on lithium too.
Yep. That helps stabilize, they believe. But now we have a ton of other options, things that are less heavy-handed.
Yeah.
But it's still tricky. It's a fine line. Even a friend of mine, Cody Green, who has schizophrenia, talks about he could get more resolution of his symptoms, but then he has no emotion. It's too heavy. He can't think clearly. He feels kind of blunted.
Yeah.
And so he'd rather have some symptoms so that he can have more personality.
Yeah, I mean, that was the biggest thing for my mom, which is interesting too, because my mom was an artist and a social worker, but she loved to do art. But then part of her delusions was that you couldn't have a graven image. So, like, you couldn't wear a shirt with a flower on it. So then she destroyed all her art
Oh, no.
and burned it. And then, but then when she was on meds, she wanted to do art again because she was mentally, thinking differently. But she didn't have that creativity. And I have a cousin who's on medication too, and he says the same thing. Just not having, you're just so dull.
Yeah, it kind of takes away certain parts of you. I don't say that to scare anybody because medication is still very important and very effective. But I do think there's some side effects that sometimes come along that just suck. It's almost like taking an antidepressant and they're like, oh, but I don't feel depressed, but I have no sex drive, I've gained weight, and I don't sleep well. You're like,
what's better?
Which is better?
What do I do?
Totally.
Yeah.
It's like, well, shit.
Screwed either way.
Yeah. So mom comes out of the hospital. You said that was like your dark period.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about
So this was in the 90s when no one was talking about mental health, and I didn't tell anyone what was really going on at home.
It can be embarrassing, and
It was.
I feel like in general, as a kid, even growing up with my family, you didn't want to talk about bad things happening in your home, like, oh, my parents are fighting, or you wouldn't tell anybody.
And
so
there's constant fighting when my mom was home. My decade of darkness was mom in and out. So let's call it age 12 to 22. I'm a teenage suicide survivor. Tried to take my life around 12 years old. My parents were just fighting constantly. Mom out of the house. I just couldn't take it anymore. And I'm so grateful to be here today at 44. I'm so grateful.
Me too.
Thank you. Yeah. And, with the big silence and everything, that's, the things that we don't talk about. And I think back then it was just when you hold things in and you don't speak out loud, it really takes a toll on you. And during that decade of darkness, I got into raves, drugs, anything to escape, because I thought my path was my mother's. That's probably what you got. My grandfather died by suicide.
Oh, okay.
That's where.
Because I was trying to consolidate. My bad. Editorial problem.
Yes, my grandfather, my mom's dad, did die by suicide, and he was schizophrenic.
I was just going to say, because it does have that genetic component.
And so I had this like cloud over me for so long of, you're never going to amount to anything. You'll never be able to achieve anything. Anything you try to do, you will fail, because you're just going to have this cloud of schizophrenia come and take over your life. And I had a conversation with my dad in my early 20s. I ended up in California because a private investigator found my mom there.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. That's how I lived in LA for 20 years.
Today's episode is sponsored by Masterclass. Billion-dollar brands don't just happen. From skincare to shapewear, Kim Kardashian created her own rules of business, and now, for the first time ever, she's teaching exactly how she did it in her new class on Masterclass, The New Rules of Business, the 10 Commandments. Kim breaks down the mindset and strategies that built her empire. What really stood out to me is how much this class focuses on defining yourself before the world defines you. Kim talks about using your story as strategy, pricing your worth, protecting your value, and even turning mistakes into marketing. Reinvention isn't framed as risky, it's required. I wanted clearer boundaries around my work and visibility, and this class helped me feel more confident asking for what I deserve while staying in control of my own narrative. It also helped me feel more comfortable pivoting when I needed to. The New Rules of Business, the 10 Commandments, is available exclusively on Masterclass starting on 12/4. Masterclass always has great holiday offers, sometimes up to as much as 50% off. Head to masterclass.com/Katie for the current offer. That's up to 50% off at masterclass.com/Katie. Masterclass.com/Katie. Thank you to Fabletics for sponsoring today's episode. Lately, I've basically been living in their cloud jersey joggers. I'm wearing them right now, actually, especially during my book tour travels. They're one of the few pieces that I can wear on planes or running around a new city and still feel put together while being ridiculously comfortable. All of their clothes are great for the holiday season as we travel, shop, and lounge with family. I also love their high-waisted leggings because they actually stay up. No rolling, no adjusting, whether I'm filming, sitting cross-legged signing books, or on the go all day. Everything feels thoughtfully designed, from the soft, breathable fabrics to the fit that really holds its shape. It honestly feels like the kind of high-end activewear you'd normally pay a lot more for. When I signed up to be a new VIP, I got 80% off of everything, which made the membership feel like it paid for itself immediately. I didn't realize how much I'd wear Fabletics until I tried it, and now it's pretty much my everyday gear. Fabletics already has amazing deals, but right now they're running their biggest sale of the year on top of that. And I got an exclusive offer just for you. 80% off everything when you sign up as a VIP. Head to fabletics.com/Katie and sign up as a VIP to get 80% off everything. This is only available through my link, so go to fabletics.com/Katie to sign up as a VIP and get 80% off. That's fabletics.com/Katie.
I ended up in California because a private investigator found my mom there.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. That's how I lived in LA for 20
Wow.
years. Yeah.
I knew she was there, but I didn't know the how and the why.
Yeah. Private investigator found her there. I thought I was going to go over to California and bring mom home and, save her. Mm-hmm. Ended up falling in love with California. But yeah, so I was living in LA. I was 18. I moved there at 18. And then probably like 21, 22, after just this 3-day bender, because again, didn't believe in myself. I was going to get schizophrenia. But I had this moment as I woke up at a park one morning in the most depressed state ever. And I'm like, those like aha moments,
Mm-hmm.
Oprah always talks about the ahas.
She does.
She started that, I think.
Probably.
And I just was like, wait a second. Mentally, I'm here. I'm in my early 20s. And I was like, what if I'm not my mom? What if I'm not destined to this illness? And I talked to my dad, and he was like, you're so mentally there where your mom never was. Like, he's like, you're good. Like, you're so stable, even though I was off the...
Well, different issues, but not no delusions.
Yeah.
No psychosis.
And I was like, wait a second. Okay, I'm self-inducing this depression and this sadness. Well, what if I tried to be happy? And so I was like, well, when was I my happiest? And I remembered mom working out to Jane Fonda. I remembered I did a half marathon when I was like 10, 11 years old, and I loved crossing that finish line. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, what would make me happy? I'm like, what if I worked out again? Because crossing that finish line meant so much to me as a kid. And so I signed up for a triathlon. And
wow.
Yeah, just like go for it,
Yeah, all the way. I'm impressed though.
But that was the biggest thing. And anyone listening too, my biggest struggle was that I didn't believe in myself enough to follow through with anything because I thought I was just doomed. And so I signed up for a triathlon. I trained for 3 or 4 months, and I hated every moment of it. Hated like jumping in the ocean and swimming and biking and running. I did like the running part. Running was very therapeutic to me. But I traded Hollywood club nights for waking up and working out.
Look at you.
Hey, you can do it. Mm-hmm. And so then I drove by myself to San Diego for this triathlon one morning, and I did it. And I crossed the finish line, and I cried my eyes out. And at that moment, I was like, wait a second. I signed up for something. I trained for it. And I did it, and I crossed the finish line. What else can you do? And it was that moment there. So you have the 3-day bender aha moment in the park, and then you sign up for a triathlon, and then you do it, and you cross the finish line. And that's those little stacks that make such a difference. You're like, what else can I do? Maybe I can live a joyful life.
That's beautiful. And it's so, I always love when like life imitates science.
Yeah.
Because we know in psychology, what we're taught is to have people build mastery, to like do something and get better at it and complete things. It builds confidence. And that's exactly, what you prove to yourself.
Yeah.
I can.
Confidence.
Yeah. Amazing. And you did a fucking triathlon. Jeez. I'm like, oh my God.
Then she signed up for another, and her addiction switched too.
I've done that. I've done the run. When you said running was therapeutic, I was like, oh yeah, me too. For like a long time, which was ended up not being therapeutic. Like it was like, I don't want to feel my feelings. I'm going to go run it off. Yeah. It doesn't go away, by the way. There's no amount of running. Can't run it off. Turns out. Yeah. I tried.
I mean,
yeah.
But there's good habits. Switches.
Yes. And you could call it, I'm forgetting the term, but it's like when you turn like a bad urge into something that's productive.
Yeah.
It's a defense mechanism. We all do them. And that's kind of exercise. You know, we can do that in good and bad. Yeah. So triathlon, Karena was born.
She was born.
And working out, fitness became your passion, or?
Yeah. I mean, there was, aside from just signing up for a triathlon, there was going to therapy, reading every self-help book. There was such a long process to healing. And even, to this day, we're still healing. There's so many traumas that happen throughout our life and continue. And there's just always so much that's put on our plate. But just knowing those tools of like, what can bring me joy? How can I move through this? And the times that you don't even want to move through it and you just force yourself to do it because it's those little tiny things where you feel accomplished that then you keep taking that next step and that next step.
Yeah. Well, and I think in general, everything seems overwhelming when you look at the end goal. Yeah. And you're like, I want to be, I don't know, insert thing, like successful this, or I want to do this or whatever. But if you take it one step at a time, like today, what can I do? Oh, I can get up off the grass in the park and I can sign up for a triathlon.
just do that.
just sign up for a triathlon. But but that doesn't mean that you did that's like only one part of it. And then training and every day and choices that you make.
And the choices that you make, a simple thing of, life is always throwing you something. The simple choice for me is, okay, I don't want to work out today, but what if I did a little workout snack? 10 minutes. I can do that. Mm-hmm. And I will work out 10 minutes. And then my day is like, I will work out 10 minutes. I will meditate. I will take a shower and I will get myself put together. Yeah. And you've accomplished something.
Totally. It puts checks in boxes.
Yeah.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
So how did Tone It Up become, because this is way back. People don't realize like when we started like our YouTube journeys or / online journeys.
When did you start YouTube?
2011.
Okay. So it's 2009.
Yeah. I was like, I think you were pre me. So how did Tone It Up come to be? Did you meet a triathlon person? How did this happen?
So I was very into fitness, working out. And then I met my ex-business partner, ex-best friend at the gym. And we were just talking about how fitness just really transformed our lives and we wanted to share that message with other women. And that was back in the day, pre-Instagram.
I know. 2009 is like, it's such a different time.
Even back then, I think YouTube was music.
Well, yeah, music, beauty, cat videos. You couldn't even monetize.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah. And we were like, well, let's just start a YouTube channel, Tone It Up, and start sharing workouts and conversations. And this was back in the day when like The Biggest Loser was out there and Jillian Michaels is a friend and all, but it was like you yelled at people.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore.
We're like, how do we make fitness fun? Because to me, fitness is fun. It's healing. I might stumble, I may go off balance, but that's okay. How do we make fitness fun again and build a community of women who can support each other with non-judgment? And that's how Tone It Up was born in 2009. It's crazy.
I know, it's crazy. It doesn't seem like that long ago, and then it does. But what a great thought, too, because fitness was like that. Like, 10 more, you got it. Raw, like the shouting and that's just not what I like. Like, I'm like a yoga girl. So it's more like breathe into it. Where do you feel it in your body? It's so healing for me as a person who's like intellectualizer. So how, what great foresight to be like, I think this is what we should be doing. And this is
and helpful. Also to be there for every stage of a woman. I mean, I don't do triathlons anymore, just so you know.
I'm impressed you ever did them. So
I went through my yoga girl phase. I tried to do a Pilates phase recently and I was like, dang, that's really hard.
It's really hard. And muscles that you don't even know existed in your body.
Yeah. Right. And then I went through my hiking girl phase and I'm in my strength training.
Which is good for us at our
Yes.
age. We got to lift those weights.
Ladies, if you're listening, lift weights.
Don't be afraid to lift weights. I used to think like, why don't we need to get like jacked? That's not what it's about.
No.
It's good for your body.
Especially you lose 3 to 5% of your muscle mass after the age of 35.
And I feel it, I tell you.
Yeah. And you
start
want
to
to
feel
be
it.
able to move, mobility. I'm
I don't
all
wanna fall
about
down.
mobility and weightlifting.
Yep.
Protein, get your protein in. And this is going to turn out.
Drink your creatine for your brain and your body.
See, back in the day, we were like, oh, we can't have creatine.
Same, that was a dude thing to like, again, bulk up.
Yeah.
But and my audience is interested in this and I need to get her on, Dr. Rhonda Patrick.
Yeah.
Especially for women, I don't know if anybody else can resonate with this, but around 35, 36, I started to get like kind of brain foggy-ish.
Yes.
And I think it really started peaking more like 38, 39, 40. And I was like, maybe it was because I got COVID.
Yeah. I thought
This
I
just
was
happened
going
to
through
align. Or
perimenopause and
Yes.
I thought I just had COVID all the time.
I know. It's such a confusing time to be our age and have COVID come into the scene. Because we're like, what's happening to my body? So turns out that creatine isn't just for muscles, it's also for brain health.
Yeah.
And so I take at least 10 milligrams a day, sometimes more if I don't sleep as well. And when you guys want to tell you, godsend. I can think clearly. I can remember my train of thought, which sounds normal, but as you get older, for anybody out there, it's hard. Yeah. It's been
Are you
amazing.
in perimenopause?
I think so, probably. I mean, I'm 42.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Last time I went to the doctor, you guys can listen to this. Last time I went to the doctor, she said no, but I get a physical every year. I'll get it again. But you can't. It's hard to check hormones because they fluctuate.
Today's episode is sponsored by Aura Frames. I think we all have at least one person in our life who deserves something really meaningful and is also incredibly hard to shop for. For me, it's my best friend. I don't want to just give her stuff. I want to give her something that actually means something. And somehow every year the holidays sneak up on me faster than I expect. Aura Frames ended up being the solution that I didn't even know I needed. I'm gifting her the Carver matte frame. And what makes it so special is that I was able to preload it with photos before it shipped. I added memories from our trips together, some throwback college pictures that still make me laugh, and of course a few of Roxy because she has to be included. And after she opens it, I can keep sending her new photos straight from my phone all year long. Aura really makes the whole experience easy. Unlimited free photo and video storage, a setup that takes just minutes, and a beautiful gift-ready box with no price tag anywhere. It's thoughtful without being complicated, personal without feeling overwhelming. You really can't wrap togetherness, but you can frame it. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code Katie at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code Katie. This deal is exclusive to listeners and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Today's podcast is sponsored by Remy. The holidays are one of those times when everything feels a little more intense. More plans, more pressure, more mental load. And for me, that stress used to show up at night with teeth clenching and grinding. I'd wake up with jaw tension and wonder why my face felt sore before my day had even started. That's why I use Remy night guards, and I'm definitely not alone. About 30% of adults in the US grind or clench their teeth at night. Remy's custom night guards are clinically tested to protect your teeth from grinding, help reduce jaw tension and facial muscle strain, and improve sleep quality. What I really appreciate is that Remy gives you the same professional quality and comfort you'd get from a dentist, but it costs about 80% less, and it's way more convenient. No office visits, no waiting rooms, plus you can use HSA or FSA benefits at checkout. Here's how it works. Remy sends an impression kit straight to your door. You follow their step-by-step instructions to get your perfect impression, send it back, and Remy crafts and ships your custom-fit night guard. Then you start protecting your teeth while you sleep. And for the holiday season, Remy is gifting their customers with their 2-in-1 foam that both cleans your night guard and whitens your teeth for free when you order a night guard between now and December 24th. Go to shopremy.com/Katie and use code Katie to receive 55% off your new night guard plus free foam gift. That's shopremi.com/Katie for 55% off a night guard plus free gift using code Katie. Thank you, Remy, for sponsoring this episode.
You guys can listen to this. Last time I went to the doctor, she said no, but I get a physical every year. I'll get it again. But you can't. It's hard to check hormones because they fluctuate. And
No, I didn't realize that. Now we're going on a perimenopause.
that's
menopause.
fine. I think it's important to talk about.
No, I was 37 when I went into peri, but I also heard that because on the Big Silence podcast, I have a lot of doctors and psychologists on, and they said that if you have childhood trauma, you will likely go through perimenopause, menopause early.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did they say why?
Trauma.
Just fucking trauma, man.
Just give it to me.
As if we need more. You're like, oh my God.
Like night
Right?
sweats, insomnia.
Yeah.
Brain fog is really interesting too. And even my husband, Bobby, he'd be like, I'm concerned. I'm like,
I already know. I believe it. Don't tell me something I already know. Yeah, but I think, I mean, it can make you feel like you're going crazy.
yeah.
And it's just perimenopause or menopause.
And I mean, our parents, definitely no one, like my mom and my grandparents never talked about it. And finally, there's a voice with women talking about it too.
Yes.
And it's so normal.
Totally.
And
Yeah, wild. Anyways, we've gone off topic, but that's fine because I think that's important. We need to talk about that and normalize the fact that we're all going through it in different stages.
well, Anna, the one thing I didn't realize is when my anxiety peaked was when I was in peri, and I didn't know I was. And I'm like, why am I having these massive anxiety attacks?
Well, so a member of the community, I actually had 2 questions a few months ago about menopause and went down a research rabbit hole. And it turns out not only does anxiety spike, which I had heard because hormones up and down can cause even panic attacks, depressive episodes. It causes like this ups and down feeling. But even worse is that it makes your medication less effective.
Oh, really?
Yes, especially those with ADHD. It can like half.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, because you're dealing with more. But nobody talks about this. And then like you could be feeling more depressed or more anxious and think like, am I doing worse or is the medication not working? Talk to your doctor because,
Well, I'm not personally on any medication, but totally sometimes I'm like, I got to get out something.
Yeah, need the extra support.
But that would make sense because you always have to think about the cocktails. Even with my mom, like she couldn't find the right medication for her schizophrenia and she had depression to balance everything. Like it really is finding the right medications.
Yeah,
and so if your hormones are changing, then your medication may need to change.
Yeah, exactly. So fascinating. So talk to your doctor, see what's right for you, know, but creatine's been a godsend.
Back to creatine.
Back to the creatine. And it doesn't even matter what brand. This isn't even a sponsor. It's just like creatine. Just at least 10 milligrams has been like life changing for me.
Yeah.
I took some today so that I can focus and talk to you, I take it every day. Back to Tone It Up.
Yes.
Started Tone It Up. Loved it immediately. Thought it was so cool. Tell me what happened because it was kind of a wild ride you went on.
Oh my gosh.
You're still on it. But
I am still on it 16 years in. It's like a legacy brand and community at this point. I mean, let's see, circa 2012 to 2018,
that
19.
was a wild time online in general.
Yes.
Like just like the boom of everything.
Was the biggest boom in fitness. And I'm just so proud to be a part of something like that. If you go back to little Karena, who thought she could never accomplish anything or do anything, and to just be surrounded by a community, I think it's something that little shy, introverted Karena didn't even know that she needed, to be surrounded by not only are we through Tone It Up supporting other women, but I got supported and I get supported so much from the community.
That's a great thing about online communities is it's almost like when you go to volunteer.
Yeah.
You like get just as much out of it, if not more.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like community. And we always think that like if we're an introvert, that means that we don't want to be around people or we don't like people. That's not what it is,
We just need to rest when we're done.
Just have to recharge.
And back in the day too, because introvert had such, it was like a cuss word.
Oh,
back
which is
then.
so interesting now how it's like everybody.
Now,
knows it.
yeah. I mean, back in the day when you're like, I'm an introvert, they're like, you need to be healed.
Yeah. Out devil.
No, it was so bad. And I was like, wait a second. It's just, I love to be around people, but then I need to recharge by myself.
Any quiet time.
Yeah.
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 I'm totally that person. Even at like VidCons and playlist lives back in the day,
Yeah.
I'd like go out onto the floor, and like talk to people and do things. Then I'd be like, go up into the room and be like,
Yeah.
and Sean and I would like eat, go up to the room for a
Yeah.
bit and then be like, okay, I can return.
Yeah.
I just needed to like recharge my battery a little bit.
Yeah.
So Tone It Up, wild ride. Amazing.
Wild
Grew
ride.
like crazy.
Grew millions of women still there. And then recently, as I just shared with
Yeah.
you when you got here, we went through private equity because we were growing so much.
Well, you
and
have products and like
Yeah.
in stores.
Yeah.
Like you can get their cookies, the snickerdoodles are pretty good. I'm not gonna call
nutrition products, everything, and then that's one of, if we shift over to business, like having that many products in 16,000 doors costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so then to be able to finance all that, we brought on private equity in 2018. And I think in any partnership, the intention is always there to be strong and great. But then sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah, well, and business is tricky.
Yeah.
I feel like whenever money's involved, it can change people.
Yeah.
It can change dynamics of relationships.
Yeah.
It can also be a lot to manage and more than maybe you and I are really, not to say we're not ready for it, but like
Yeah.
sometimes I think when we were growing an online brand, it's like you don't know, you can't wear all the hats, right?
Yeah. And then, new partners have new visions.
Yep.
They want, to have me step down from CEO to kind of and stop creating content, which
was
is what
that-
we do.
yeah, what was
like,
what was that business meeting like? Because I'm like, I can just imagine like feisty Kate. You guys know I can get kind of. I don't know how I would handle that. I would feel kind of hopeless or helpless. I guess.
no, Katie, like literally, I would go into my office and I wouldn't have a desk anymore.
Oh my
There's
god!
like new people in my office.
You're like, I'm being pushed out. Like that's how it would feel icky.
yeah, it was. I went through, as you know, some icky years.
It's hard. I think the ups and downs of working for yourself, like I think sometimes people glamorize like being online, and I'm not complaining about the process, but I think there are these like ups and downs of like tough times, and finances are fickle with what we do. Things can be up and down, and to ride that wave, especially as the face,
Right.
the emotional wave can be
And
pretty
yeah,
rough.
being the face of your company and yet not having control over it is really emotionally.
What's your baby?
Yeah. And I always say, now that I own it 100%.
Whoop whoop!
Yeah, just the
Congratulations.
they were selling it again, and I was like, I'm not going with anyone else. So I'm not being sold to anyone. So how can I Tone It Up 100% again and bring it back to the basics of why we founded it and creating the content and for women, and also having those discussions of now, I was 27, now 44 again. Like, what are these stages of life and what do women need now? And to really be in charge of what I'm putting out there and stand 150% behind what I'm doing. So that feels really good. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a wild ride, but I always say, I think I know that I stood by it and through it with Tone It Up, through all the ups and downs, because as a kid, I went through so much. I'm like, I can get through this. And
Like, this is nothing.
and it's that intuition in the back of your mind. It's like, I'm going to get this company back, and not regretting anything and any of the partners that I've had in the past, but it was all part of the process that was meant to be. And then now we're back here
Yeah.
and it feels good.
That's so amazing. I'm so excited for you. And I think there is something to like because I've even gone through iterations recently where we'd hired people to help. And then like, it's not that I lost creative direction or like gave it up, but you have to, I'm like, well, we hired these people, so we should take their advice, even if I don't agree. But it's me and it's my brand.
Yeah.
And I've gone through like the ups and downs of it in a different way, but similar that like now, like, you know, let those people go and like doing our own thing. And really it's like me doing my thing. And there's something so, I think I needed to go through it. Again, it's all like divine timing or whatever you want to believe or not believe. But like sometimes I think I want to like rush to the end. I want to get to the finish line. But the universe is like, no, you have to learn some lessons. You have to appreciate this so that when you get it, you're like excited again. And I don't know if you feel this way, but I definitely feel more invigorated, more excited about content. And I'm like, oh, and I want to talk about this. And ooh, okay, I'm going to read this, which I haven't, if I'm being honest, I haven't felt in years.
That's so, yeah, same. I get that because it's so hard for me when I didn't own Tone It Up to go on and create content. I took a hiatus from teaching workouts, and when I don't quote me, I think I'm going to be back to teaching workouts, but I'm also running a business. Like
it's a lot.
So much, and being CEO, creative director, working, I got all of our amazing old trainers, OG trainers back. We just filmed here in Austin. We're launching the new program in January, China, Steph, and Tori, and they're back on board. It's been 5 years since, they were a part of Tone It Up, and they're all moms now and, married. All our lives have changed so much, but we just are embracing that and sharing our stories also. And
I love it.
Creating content around that.
Yeah, well, it's like it's going back to the basics, back to why it was created in the first place. And sometimes I think we lose and I don't know if it's lose our way. I don't even want to say it that way. I think we went on a journey, and sometimes you need different things at different times, but then it comes back around to what's authentic, what feels real, what's the most beneficial for you and for the community.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what it becomes. Yay.
Yes.
So tell us about, Tone It Up, amazing. Yay. Karena's back. Now,
she back.
Let's talk about
The
big silence. This was something that you launched in 2019?
2021.
Oh, 2020. Oh, my God. That was, so when I met you, it had just been launched not that long ago.
Yeah.
Okay. In my head, I was like, it must have been. Okay. So 2021.
Yeah. So launched The Big Silence in 2021 in honor of my late mother. She passed in 2021. And I told her about my work with mental health when I was, as you mentioned in my nice little introduction, my mom used to get so upset. She's like, how can you talk about this? There's a stigma. And that's why my mom never got the help that she really wanted. But I was in hospice with her in 2021. And I said, hey, I'm writing a memoir. I'm starting a foundation that provides therapy for those who can't afford it or health insurance doesn't cover it. And it's really important for me to speak out around mental health to help end the stigma. And when she was in hospice, she finally said, she gave me the thumbs up to do what I'm doing. And yeah, The Big Silence, all the things that it's hard to talk about or uncomfortable or ending the stigma. So yeah, so obviously I have my memoir, audiobook and regular book, and then our Therapy for All program and all our resources that we provide and the podcast.
Yeah, we'll link everything in the description for everybody. You can check it out. I mean, it's so important. And I love that you mentioned that like your mom still was like, how can you talk about this? Like,
yeah,
because I think people talk about, oh, there's a stigma, blah, 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 but they don't really realize that by not talking about the tough things and the uncomfortable things, by keeping the silence, it's the patients that don't get the help. It's the families who feel isolated.
Yeah.
And I remember there's this group that I was a part of when I was like first in training, and it was for children of alcoholics. And they were talking about how it's like an elephant in the room, and people probably heard this phrase before, but like essentially it starts as a little baby and everybody just kind of walks around the little baby elephant, and then the elephant starts to grow. And before you know it, you're like scooting along the walls and you can't really barely function because of this huge elephant that's in your life. And that sounds really weird, but I feel like to me it's very visual. I can feel it. Like it's almost like being in a hoarder house where you like can't get around. And that's what happens when we stigmatize mental health, because in mental illness in particular, it's like you can't function.
Yeah.
So we have to have those uncomfortable conversations to get that elephant out of the room.
Yeah. And for my mom, her biggest thing was the stigma that she held and why she didn't want to speak out about her own schizophrenia. And she admitted she had it, and she was not medicated the last 15 years of her life, but she actually told me she could tell like what was real and what wasn't, like visuals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she said the reason she didn't want to let people know that she was diagnosed with schizophrenia was because of the stigma of violence.
Yes, and that's media. Like, fuck media.
Yeah.
They always say that like people with mental illness are more violent, especially schizophrenia, when in fact, if you want to check, you can check me on this. It's more common that someone with schizophrenia has violence acted upon them than they actually acted upon other people. Usually people with schizophrenia are scared because they're paranoid.
Yeah.
And they're scared of people who aren't going to harm them, but they're like curl away, hide away. Like I used to do stuff in the community in downtown LA, and a lot of people on the street unfortunately have mental illness, whether drug induced or otherwise. And a lot of times, especially the ones with psychosis, would not want to come talk to us. They think we're poisoning them with the sandwiches or whatever, And so unfortunately media portrays it that way. And then that internalized stigma is so painful, because then the shame that she felt for something that was treatable and manageable, and what kind of life she could have had if,
It makes me think, because I had thought that she thought like people will think she's violent, and she was like the least violent person ever. I mean, mentally she might be a little violent. She knew how to really stick it to you emotionally. But also, yeah, people would treat her different if she let that out there.
Yeah, and that's just unfortunate. So it's important that we talk about it. And that's why Cody Green's a good friend of mine. He talks about his schizophrenia.
Yeah.
And he lives a regular life managing his symptoms.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's like limitations sometimes. Like we were supposed to have a meeting the other day, and he's like, I'm having symptoms. Can we reschedule? Of course we can reschedule. Just like I'm not feeling up to it today.
Yeah. Do you know Kevin Hines?
Yes.
He was just on my podcast, and he's great. And his wife is amazing.
Yeah,
but yeah,
really
he's not diagnosed with schizophrenia, but he was saying he has to go to his wife and be like, is there a man standing over there holding a knife? And she's like, nope.
Yep. Yeah, you can check.
Yeah.
Like Cody has a dog that will help, and his wife too will.
Yeah.
Or use the phone on his camera phone, like the camera to like check and then film and then look back. Because when he looks at through the phone,
you won't see it. It's not there.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
The mind is
it's a wild. And we could talk. I mean,
like,
schizophrenia is fascinating because it's excess dopamine that causes like positive symptoms like hallucinations and delusions and like feeling things that aren't there. I find the brain, like why that happens, so fascinating.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I know. And so it's fascinating to me too of how it skipped this generation between myself and Rachel, who's our executive director, like to not have this, mental illness, this disease.
Yeah. I mean, genetics are interesting. It increases your risk.
Yeah.
So like 1% of the population has schizophrenia roughly. And when you have one parent with it, I think it ups your chance to like 20%, 22%, I think. If you have both parents with it, then you have like a 50% chance. So then it goes up. But all in all, we don't know. Like Cody, he has schizophrenia. His mom had schizoaffective disorder. So she had schizophrenia with a mood disorder with bipolar. But his siblings, I don't think either of them have it. So you just don't know. It's a crapshoot. It's all about percentages and likelihood, but it does make it more likely. Like Cody doesn't want to have children because he doesn't want to pass it on.
Same with Bobby and I decided not to have children because I'm like, if it's skipped a generation and I've lived with my mom's mental illness my entire life, like, can we just live and have fun?
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
And totally understandable. Yeah. It's your choice.
Yeah.
And it's been quite a journey, and it sounds like we're kind of starting a new chapter. What are you most excited about with the Tone It Up and Big Silence? Like, what can people look for from you in the next couple of years here?
It's been a really wild ride, especially I would say the past 7 years. And to be on this new journey again and in full control of the outcome. I don't know how to explain it. It's scary because for the first time also, I don't have a business partner that I can go to. My head of marketing, Desiree, is my right hand and she's amazing, but just being able to do everything on my own terms is very freeing. And that's one of my words is like freedom and joy. I just want to live in freedom and joy. And I feel like I am here. I am Karena 4.0 at this point. And I'm just excited for life.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see what Tone It Up is, like back to the basics. I love that you have your old original coaches and
yes.
Or what do you call them? Coaches?
Trainers. Yeah.
Trainers. Sorry. And yeah, with the big silence, anything same old with the podcast and supporting people and all of that?
Yeah. Same old. Go to Big Silence Podcast. We are on Wednesdays every week. We're moving to Thursdays because we have Tone It Down podcast now coming out on Tuesdays starting in January. And yeah, go work out with me, the trainers, and the Tone It Up app. And also I lead meditations.
I love it.
Yep.
Thanks for spending time with us.
Thanks for hanging.
So good to see you.
Good to see you. Can't wait to get a ski shore.
I know. Whoop, whoop. Okay. Directors, producers. I know I had to move around because my... If you cope by overworking yourself, numbing out, or overthinking, or even chasing perfection, that doesn't mean you're broken. It means your nervous system is overwhelmed. And my new book, Why Do I Keep Doing This?, is here to help you stop doing what hurts you and start doing what heals. You can pre-order now. The link is in my bio.